Children, you have done very well in the test. I feel so happy to say this. I congratulate all the parents for their effort. Unless if the parents did not cooperate with us, students would have not been able to score so good marks. So I am very happy with my subject's result. In the next exams, you should score still more marks. Okay? Yes, with this happiness, I am going to continue my lessons today. That is, today I am going to take another branch of social science, that is civics, for this year 7th standard. The first lesson that is there in civics is about our constitution, about the Indian constitution. As we have less duration this year, some parts or few parts of the lesson have been deleted because you are going to study about the same topics in your higher classes, so that part has been deleted. Whatever it is there for this year, you are going to learn. That is the basic things about the constitution we are going to learn this year. The concepts that we are going to learn in this year are the meaning and importance of constitution. What is constitution? Why we have to learn constitution? That we are going to learn. Then understanding the preamble of the constitution. What is written in the introductory part of the constitution? ಮುನ್ನೋಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದು preamble ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. So that also you are going to learn in this chapter. Understand the profile of the persons who are involved in the drafting of the constitution. That is, can everyone write the constitution? No. A few persons were selected to draft constitution, and who were they? How did they finalize the constitution? How the drafting committee finalized the report and gave it to the Constituent Assembly? All this you are going to learn in this chapter. So the first thing that we are going to learn in this chapter is the meaning of constitution. What is a constitution? Yes, now we should learn. The first thing that we have to learn about our constitution is what is a constitution. Meaning of the word constitution. See children, if there is any office, okay, any office or a school, there must be some certain set of rules and regulations, isn't it? If that set of rules and regulations are not there, any office nor any school cannot run properly. The office cannot function its work properly. There will be full of chaos, confusions. So there will be for any institution there will be certain set of rules and regulations that will be followed by each and every person involved in that institution, isn't it? In the same way, in every country or a state, certain rules and regulations should be there in order to function properly, in order to govern properly. The government needs some set of rules and principles. Okay, that set of rules and principles, the regulations that are required for any state to perform well, that is called as constitution. That is called as constitution. Now, in simple words, a constitution means a set of basic rules followed by a nation. Then, or else you can say the basic laws and principles of a nation or a state is called as a constitution. Now I think you are clear. Constitution is nothing but, don't get confused of what is constitution. ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. Constitution ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂವಿಧಾನ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. Certain set of rules and regulations that help the government to function well, as well as the citizens to do their duties, as well as to know their rights. There is a certain set of principles which are written in a document, and that document is nothing but constitution. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಈಗ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಆಫ್ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸಿಟಿಸನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಜೆಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಸೇರಿಸಿ ಇರುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಆ ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ ಹೆಸರು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್. ನಾವು where all we say that okay rules and regulations must be there. So where it will be, how you can get it, there must be something to know about all these things, isn't it? No, that's why our ancestors have decided that these rules and regulations, they will write it in a book, and that document will be considered as the basic rule of the country. Whatever is written in the constitution, in the same way our government functions. All the citizens, we all get our rights and duties according to the constitution. Okay children, constitution is a basic set of rules and laws followed by any state or a nation. Such group of rules which is written in a document is called a constitution. Now we should know the importance of constitution. Why we should know about our constitution? What is the importance of learning about the constitution? See, according, if we know the constitution only, then only you can claim all your rights. So if any person is charged against any crime, if he wants to go to the court and fight against it, he should know that whatever he has done is right. Then only he can go and fight in the court. To know what the thing he has done is correct, then he should be knowing about constitution. Not only that, our rights and duties as a citizen, what we have to do, what are our rights and what are our duties. All these things should be known to us, means we should learn constitution, because all these things are written in our constitution. Now, to know the importance of the constitution, why we have to learn our constitution, there are certain things that needs to be mentioned. Why we have to learn constitution ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲವು ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿದೆ. that needs to be read. Okay, that is there in your textbook. So I am going to read that and then I will explain that. Constitution protects the rights of the citizens as all are equal before the law. It functions as a reference guide to the duties to be performed by the government. It coordinates the functions of the democratic institutions such as legislature, executive and judiciary. It also organizes better relations between the government and the individual. So because of all these things, you need to learn constitution. See, this constitution is not made only for the ordinary people, only for the citizens. It should be followed by the by the first citizen of the country also. Who is the first citizen of the country? It is Mr. Prime President. Even the President, Prime Minister, all the ministers, Chief Justices, all the judges of the court, all the judges of Supreme Court, High Court and all the divisional courts, everyone, each and everyone should follow the constitution, because that is the basic principle. That is like a testament. ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಪವಿತ್ರವಾದ ಗ್ರಂಥ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. Just like Hindus have Bhagavad Gita and they follow the things that are told in Bhagavad Gita. ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೀಗೆ ನಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಆ ರೀತಿ ನಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಗೆ ದ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಪ್ರಜೆ ಕೂಡ ನಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಪವಿತ್ರವಾದ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಥಾನ ಇದೆ. It has its own sanctity. So it protects the rights of the citizens. ನಿಮ್ಗೇನಾದರೂ if something happens to you, if your right has not been given to you, there are certain set of rights and duties that we will learn later. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದು ಡ್ಯೂಟೀಸ್ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ. Now only I will tell. You can note it down all the rights and duties. If we don't know that rights and duties, you cannot claim that in a court. ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವುದು ರೈಟ್ಸು ಯಾವುದು ಡ್ಯೂಟೀಸು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಕೋರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ನನ್ನ ರೈಟ್ ನನಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಸಿಗಲಿಲ್ಲ, all the people will fight for the property. I am the son of this person, I should get all the property. You go and fight there, isn't it? How come you know that your father property has to come to you only? That also has been written in the Constitution. Okay, so whatever you want to know, anything legally, that will be that things you get in the Constitution. So we should learn about Constitution. Then you know the three branches of the government. Which are the three branches of the government? We have learned already in the previous classes. Which are those? Legislature, executive, and judiciary. You know these branches of the government. If there arises any problem, any confusion or any question regarding these three branches of government, you can directly refer Constitution and get the answer. And if there is any fight between these three branches of government, if they disagree in some parts of the things that are working, that have been going on, if there are any confusions regarding that, they can there also they can refer to the Constitution and make their points clear. Okay, to know all these things, we need to know about our Constitution. So, what are the rights and duties of a citizen? We shall learn that. What are the rights and duties of the citizens? There are certain rights and duties of the citizens that are mentioned in the Constitution. If we learn about that, then only you can go and claim about your rights or your duties. Even the government can ask you, that is your duty, no? It is your duty to pay the tax. Why you are not paying? I don't know about paying tax. Who told me to pay tax? No one told me to pay tax. No, it is your duty to know about the things that are happening in the country. It is your duty to know about the changes that are taking place in the government. It is your duty to know about how your government is functioning. You can question the government also. So no one can say, I don't know this or I don't know that, because all the things are mentioned in our Constitution. Before learning about the rights and duties, we should learn about how a Constitution was drafted, about the drafting committee of the Constitution. As soon as we got our independence, our leaders thought that there must be one constitution for our country. So then they started a committee, that is the drafting committee of the Constitution. To frame the Constitution, a committee was appointed to draft the Constitution. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as its president, and then Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was selected as the chairman of the drafting committee. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he was also the Law Minister of India from 15th August 1947 to 26th January 1950. He was in the office of the Law Ministry. Then what is drafting? Drafting of Constitution. That means preparing a document. Drafting means preparing a document. Now, who are all the people who are there in the drafting committee? Drafting committee mainly consisted of the president, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and the chairman was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And this Constituent Drafting Committee had 299 members. The first sitting was held on 9th December 1946. Now, drafting committee, in order to fasten the process of the constitution, Assembly had created various committees. It also created a drafting committee which was under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Our constitution was a written constitution. It was originally handwritten by Mr. Prem Bihari Narayan Raizada in italic style. It is a style of writing, I think. You'll get in this keypads also, see. That is italic style. Indian Constitution, it is the supreme law of India. Then it is the longest written constitution in the world. Ambedkar, who was the chairman of the drafting committee, he is considered to be the chief architect of this Indian Constitution. Our Constitution was adopted on 26th November 1949 and it came into effect on 26th January 1950. So, we celebrate that day as our Republic Day. From that day onwards, the Constitution became the fundamental governing document of our country. The members of the Constituent Assembly were the first Law Minister, as you all know, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, B.N. Rao, Constitutional Advisor, Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who was the Deputy PM as well as the Home Minister. These members of the Constituent Assembly, they verified the draft constitution. They checked all the written things in that and they proposed 2,473 amendments. Amendments means changes. These members, they said that if whatever the proposed changes have been made, then the constitution can come into effect, they said. So the proposed amendments and the draft constitution were discussed in detail in the meeting of the Constituent Assembly. So it took 3 years for the constitution to have a final shape. Then the constitution was adopted on January 26, 1950. The constitution declared India as a republic. What do you mean by republic? Republic means a state in which the supreme power is held by the people and their elected representatives. Here, the president will be the supreme head and not the king. Such type of government is called as republic. So, India was declared as a republic. In order to mark the adoption of the constitution, every year, January 26th is marked as the Republic Day and it is one of our national festivals. On November 26th of 1949, the Constitution was approved by the Constituent Assembly. So on November 26th, every year, the Constitutional Day is celebrated because it was approved by the Constituent Assembly on that day. So it is also celebrated, but this is not a national festival. It's not celebrated as a national festival. Only Republic Day is celebrated as a national festival. According to the directive of the Constitution, what is directive? It is an official instruction from the Constitution, that is, the first general elections of India should be held between 1952. This was the first directive that was given by the Constitution. The Parliament with bicameral legislature, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha came into force in 1952. After the elections were completed, the Parliament had two chambers. That is why it is called as bicameral legislature. One is Lok Sabha and the other one is the Rajya Sabha. The Parliament consists of two houses. That is called as bicameral legislature. One house is called Lok Sabha and the other one is Rajya Sabha. Size of the Constitution. The Constitution of India contains 3,954 articles and 12 schedules. Now what are these articles? They are nothing but the guidelines. Okay, guidelines given to everyone. That is the government as well as the citizens. And what are schedules? Schedules are the tables which contains additional details which is not mentioned in the articles. Extra information regarding that topic. That is called as schedule. The next important part of our constitution is not the next. In fact, the first important fact about our constitution is the preamble. The preamble, I told you, it means the introduction given to our constitution. By reading this introduction itself, if we read the preamble of the constitution itself, we can understand that what kind of government we are having and what kind of administration will be done in our country. Everything is written, what it has made, what our leaders have compacted. ಅಂದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಇಡೀ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ವಿಚಾರಗಳಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಸಮ್ಮರಿ ಥರ ಬ್ರೀಫಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಿಯಾಂಬಲಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಫ್ ಎನಿವನ್ ರೀಡ್ಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರಿಯಾಂಬಲ್ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ is this anta. It is considered as the heart of the constitution as it represents the dream and ideologies of the people. Justice, freedom, equality, self-respect, fraternity, national integrity are the ideologies that find reference in the preamble of our constitution. Now, what is justice? Justice simply means being morally correct, the right state, treating everyone the same. This is justice. And freedom, independence, equality, that is everyone are equal. Self-respect, that is having confidence in oneself and feeling that one is behaving with honor and dignity. This is self-respect. Swabhimana antivalla, adu self-respect. Fraternity means a group of people sharing a common interest. These are and national integrity, feeling of oneness. These are the ideologies. What are ideologies? Ideology means a set of opinions. Now whatever we discussed, justice, freedom, equality, self-respect, fraternity and national integrity, all these are mentioned in the preamble. If you read the preamble, you can understand. Once I'll read the preamble of the constitution, then you can also go through that in your textbook, children. The preamble of our constitution. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and secure to all its citizens, what they are giving? They are giving justice, social, economic and political, as well as liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, then equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote them among all. Fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this constitution. And this wonderful constitution
is written by the members of the Constituent Assembly, and it was presented as well as it was accepted. Hence, now we have got this, what we can say, the supreme law of the land, which is called as Indian Constitution. You are having a separate lesson on fundamental rights and duties. I am just mentioning the fundamental rights. That's all. Okay. That will be explained in detail in the later lessons. The fundamental rights are the right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and right to constitutional remedies. These are the 6 fundamental rights.
If you have any doubts or questions regarding this lesson, you can WhatsApp me and clear your doubts. And as always, you have to write down the notes and bring it for correction to the school. Okay children, thank you for this session.